Good morning, everybody. I'm here down at Atlas Audio Video in Victoria, British Columbia, and introducing these new Focal speakers that my great friend Austin Mayo, who also works here but is also on our advisory council for Audiophilia, is going to tell you all about them. Austin, take it away. What have we been listening to this morning?
This morning we've been listening to the brand new Focal Diva Utopias. So these are part of their flagship line of products. It is the first product where they've truly worked with Name Audio, their sister company, and produced a speaker that is a marriage of Name's traditional electronics and the best technologies that Focal makes. They've also introduced in this speaker a number of new technologies that are very specific to the speaker and were born out of the 5-year development that they spent trying to get this speaker to fruition. So.
Beautiful. Well, they're certainly spectacular looking. They come with these gray panels. Tell us a little bit about the panels and how they can be changed eventually when some new colors come in.
Yeah, so all the speakers will ship with this gray, I think it's oak text they call it. It's a very, very dense felt material. Most notably, it is a floating wrap that's on the speaker that has absolutely no bearing on sound quality. In other words, you can take them off, the speaker's still going to sound the same.
And it doesn't rattle.
They don't rattle, and they are changeable. So these panels are removable, and they will be introducing some new panel options that you'll still get the speakers shipped in gray, and then you can purchase these panel options from them. There'll be leather and wood and different colors of felt and such.
Before we get into the drivers and the incredible technology, I came down and said, are we going to be listening to, what DAC are we going to be listening to? And Austin said, no, everything's included, which is amazing. And we'll talk about the insides of the speakers in a second and the drivers. But just give us an idea of the pricing on these speakers.
US dollars is $39.99, and in Canadian dollars, $49.99.
And considering their Focal drivers, Focal designed speakers, and the insides are nearly all Name designed products, if you were getting these as separates.
Oh, well beyond that. I mean, the cheapest floor standing Utopia speaker is, over $65,000 Canadian. And this speaker is, in my humble opinion, beyond what that speaker is capable of doing.
But they're very, very impressive. We didn't listen to any vinyl. They can do vinyl. You can plug a turntable in.
Correct. Yeah, we have RCA jacks. The signal will get converted to digital. Some people might have a problem with that. I don't. It works extremely well. The design of the speaker is that all of the inputs are on one side, and then we either wirelessly or via a Ethernet cable transmit to the other side. So the signal has to be converted to a digital signal.
So let's talk about the drivers. What do we got here?
So the first, we'll start at the top. This is a M-shaped beryllium dome, and it's different than anything that they've done before. The M-shaped is quite unique in that it has a much wider dispersion pattern. So, and I think we experienced that. You can be parked in front of one speaker and hear the other speaker perfectly well. So they really do cast quite a wide dispersion. The mid-bass driver incorporates two technologies that were included in the Sopra. So there's the tune mass damper, which improved the clarity of the mid-range about 4-fold over their previous versions of the drivers. And then they have a neutral inductance circuit, which was typically just put on the bass drivers in a product like the Sopra, but that's been incorporated into the mid-range on this one as well. On either side of the speaker, there are two 6.5-inch bass drivers with an entirely new surround design. And they are capable of extending down as low as 24 hertz, and we'll call it 27 hertz usable.
And it felt that way when you're doing the testing. And these also have DSP?
Yes, they're using the speakers for the most part entirely of Name and Focal's making. But they're smart people. They went out and went to one of the best plug-in manufacturers on the planet and incorporated some DSP for EQ and compression.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the inside. So what do we? And I'm going to intersperse some photographs of the rear, so you get to see the connectivity. But
each of the drivers is in its own cavity. So the bass drivers are in one cavity, the mid-range is in its own cavity, and then borrowing from the Sopra, they've got their infinite baffle on the tweeter.
On the bottom, is there anything specific we need to know about the bottom? Is that just the stand, and what's going on there?
Yeah, it's not just a stand. It's actually the laminar port. It's ported out the front, and their port designs are designed not to chub. And they also anticipated, this is a lifestyle speaker. They anticipated it was going to go into maybe some less than ideal rooms. So they've designed it in such a way that the speaker, if it had to be pushed up back against the wall, it could do so.
Let me ask you a question about the connectivity today, because the connectivity and the ease of it is one of the big draws of this type of speaker. Tell me what we've got connected today.
Yeah, on the most simple level, a user could roll these out, and even their boxes are designed to make it easy for one person to do that. Plug them into the wall and connect wirelessly, and you are done. So that's the simplest possible setup.
What's the power cord? Is it attached, or you use a separate power cord?
You can use a separate power cord, so if you want to do power cord upgrades, you can easily do that. When connected wirelessly, they have a superb clocking system to keep the speakers perfectly in phase and keep the timing correct. They can transmit up to 24-bit 96 kilohertz between wireless connectivity. They do include an Ethernet cable, rather substantial in length, so that you can plug the master speaker into the slave speaker, and it will transmit 24-bit 192.
Now, tell me a little bit about the DAC.
They have both an A to D and a D to A converter in there, and then they have a very sophisticated clocking system, obviously because they were thinking about being able to connect wirelessly between the two speakers. Like all the name Unity type product, they'll convert a signal to 384 kilohertz. They'll convert, I believe, to 192 on the analog stuff. So we do need to convert that signal in order to be able to transmit it. So
the amplifiers, that's what it was. All made by name.
All made by name, all class AB. So we're not dealing with, a lot of people sometimes get concerned about digital amps, not so much myself. I'm finding good examples in both. So each pair, in each speaker, there are 4 bass drivers, and each pair of those bass drivers has a 125 watt name amplifier attached to it. If you know anything about name amps, they're low power, high current. So, you take a 70 watt name amp and compare it against 150 or 200 watts of anything else. They have, so we're 250 watts down below. When we get to the mid-range, we have a 75 watt amplifier running the mid-range, and we have a 75 watt amplifier running the tweeter.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could have heard these. Just to let you know, you can come down to Atlas in Victoria if you live in the area on the island, and audition them. And I know that Angie Lisi in Toronto has them at American Sound. And Angie called me excitedly and said, "Anthony, you've got to hear these speakers." She said, "It's the future." And I'm telling you, I've not heard any vinyl through it, and you guys know that I'm a vinyl guy. But if you're a streamer and through Cobars, I love name streamers. I've reviewed them in Audiophilia and given them great reviews because they're great streamers and they're DACs. And I'm telling you, this has the name sound stamped all over it. Anything else about the speakers we should know before we leave?
A couple of really interesting points about them. They are, for people that like to play loud, they are a bit on the party-proof side. The way that the DSPs work, they will maintain the tonal quality of the loudspeaker, regardless of how soft or loud they're played, and they are bulletproof. You can't blow them up. So that's one thing. The speakers are, they have a very unique app called Adapt, and the Adapt app allows you to tune the speakers not only to the room but to your ears. So you're inputting a bunch of measurements of how you've set the speakers up. And if you have a difficult room, a dining room off to one side and a wall close on the other side, it's not a problem for the loudspeaker. You simply input all that data into the app. It will then run you through a series of test tones that are designed to help you center the image. And it does it at multiple frequencies. Once you've done that, it moves on to a second set of test tones where you are adjusting the loudness between two test tones that are slightly different in frequency. And as we discovered, we were down in the 20 hertz range near the end there. We were learning about the limitations of the room at that point. But once you're done, then you have this speaker basically perfectly dialed and tuned to the room. You can do that or change that as you see fit. The speakers come on rollers out of the box, and then they are provided with spikes for that.
Consider me impressed. The sound, I wish I could share it with you guys. I will say that if you're an audiophile, don't think of these as just little lifestyle speakers. These are audiophile speakers or music lover speakers or lifestyle speakers. You can name them what you like. They're just great speakers. So if you get a chance, please go down to your local store that has these and have a listen. I've been a big fan of Focal and name for many years, and they've really hit it out of the park with this product. So thanks, Austin, and we'll come again soon. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anthony.